presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Ohio.
Last night's game had a little bit of everything. Spotty defense, another 2-home run inning from the Tribe, and controversy in the 9th inning. But in the end, it added up to a third straight win for the Indians over the A's. Scott Kazmir gets the ball at high noon, looking for the sweep of Oakland next on Sports Time OHIO. From the home of the hottest team in baseball, Progressive Field in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, the Tribe goes for a 4-game sweep here this afternoon against the Oakland Athletics. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Tribe has won 9 of their last 10. They've closed the gap to 2 games on Detroit in the American League Central Division. They're doing it in different ways, Rick. They might win a game 1-0. They might score 10 runs and blow somebody out. They've done it with the long ball, little ball. Really impressive the way this team is playing right now.
Well, it has been a great formula this whole homestand. The weather's heated up. Reynolds hits a long ball in this series. They get some solid pitching. They're getting all the breaks. Anything that goes right goes their way. So, the Indians right now, if you can bottle it and patent that, they should have it all year long. When you look at their last 10 games, 9-1, 21 home runs. They've playing solid defense, only 1 error. The starting pitching has been right there. It's been a lot of fun to watch, and the Indians are rolling.
Well, and a win today would give the Indians their best homestand in terms of total wins in 8 years. So that's what's on the line here today, plus potentially a 4-game sweep of the Oakland Athletics. Left-hander Scott Kazmir, who's beaten Oakland more than any other team in his career, is on the hill. Will the Tribe keep the mojo rolling? Come on back and find out. Tribe and the A's coming up next. Beautiful day in downtown Cleveland. Tribe and the Oakland A's wrapping up this 4-game series. Indians trying to sweep all 4 from Oakland. Just prior to the game, the lineup cards exchanged at home plate. A's manager Bob Melvin took the lineup card to home plate, did not talk to the umpires, did not shake anybody's hands. He shook Sandy Alomar's hand, but did not shake any of the umpires' hands. He listened and then went back to the dugout, so no incident before the game. But he is still steaming mad over the events late in last night's ball game. Scott Kazmir on the hill for the Tribe here today. 1-1, a 6.28 ERA, but he's been getting better with each and every start out. Adam Rosales taking. It's a first pitch strike.
Yeah, this is Scott's 4th start of the year. And a beautiful afternoon for baseball.
Yeah, 66 degrees, not a cloud in the sky overhead. It was Rosales who hit the disputed home run last night. It was a double on the field. They went and reviewed it. They came back. They said it was still a double, even though the replays that we all looked at showed that it appeared the ball hit the railing above the yellow line, so it should have been a home run, at least on the replays that we saw. But Angel Hernandez explained after the game that the replays they looked at, which we can only assume are the same ones we had, that it was inconclusive, that they could not tell 100% certainty that the ball cleared the yellow line in left field, so therefore they left it a double. Bob Melvin did not buy their argument, and then when he came out and argued after the replay, he was ejected from the game.
Yeah, if you're an Indians fan, you love it. If you're an A's fan, you hate it.
There's been a lot of conjecture here this afternoon as the 2-2 pitch is delivered and a base hit into left field by Rosales. This was the 9th inning last night with 2 outs. The ball high in the air came straight down. Again, on the field, it was initially ruled a double, but the replay angle showed that it hit the railing above that yellow line. However, the umpires reviewed it. Call stood as a double. Melvin was ejected. And then, as I said, there's been a lot of conjecture and a lot of talk today on talk radio and around the ballpark. Bob Melvin says he's been in contact with the league. He's hoping that there might be some sort of a solution at hand. You cannot protest a judgment call. And that's essentially what we had last night. So any idea that they might go back, overturn this, replay the game from that point forward is a dead point.
Well, I mean,
unless Major League Baseball opens up a brand new can of worms.
They're not going to do that. I mean, the opportunity was there. They had the opportunity to overturn the call, and they didn't do it.
Right.
All right, game's in the books. You move on, and we started today's game.
It would be unprecedented for them to do anything at this point. Right, wrong, or indifferent, they wouldn't be the first team on the wrong end of a bad call. Lowry chops one to third. Chisenhall to second. There's one. Kipnis tries to turn 2, but Lowry beats it out. There's Bob Melvin after the game last night.
Inconclusive to the only 4 people in the ballpark that could say that's inconclusive. Everybody else said it was a home run, including their announcers when I came in here later. I don't get it. I don't know what the explanation would be when everybody else in the ballpark knew it was a home run. I went in and looked at it later. Clearly, it hit the railing behind. I mean, I'm at a loss, complete loss.
Not much more to add to it than that.
No, he's right. I mean, I agree with him. I thought the ball was over the yellow line and hit the railing. But he's got to worry about today's game. They after they finish today's game, they don't head home. They started in New York for 3. They're here for 4, and they head up to Seattle to play the Mariners after this. So they're on a long road trip. Actually, their longest of the year.
It's outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Yoenis Cespedes 2 out of 11 with a home run in the series. And a pitch is swung on and missed. Well, just one last thing to add before we kind of put it to rest. 3 umpires went in. They looked at the replay. They had to have conclusive evidence. They had to, all 3 of them feel like, okay, it's clearly a home run. So, obviously, when they were looking at it, on the monitor they were looking at, there was enough doubt to where they couldn't be 100% sure, which is why they made that call.
Mm-hmm.
Swing and a miss. Cespedes strikes out. Throw to first. They almost nabbed him. Lowry just did beat the swipe tag of Mark Reynolds.
Boy, how quick was that? A nice throw. Gomes comes back out from, and he's got an open view to the runner. He throws it to Reynolds, and look how quickly he was lucky to get back. Look at Scott's numbers on the year. That win coming in his last start. That's his first major league win since September 19th, 2010. And he did go 6 innings. Gave up 5 hits, a couple of runs. They spotted him a couple runs early. He pitched from in front. And pitched a good game. Threw the ball well.
Josh Donaldson, 2 out of 10 in the series. Pop back out of play. Yeah, if you take a look at Scott Kazmir and that first start, okay, it's his first start in the big leagues in a couple of years. And even though he's a veteran and he's been around, there were some nerves. He's pitching, family and friends, that kind of thing. And I think you throw that one out a little bit. Plus, it was a weird game because the Indians scored so many runs.
Well, they spotted him 14 in the first 2 innings.
He left with an 18-6 lead. Not many games do you pitch in like that. 1 and 2 the count. So if you just take that one out of the mix, he's had 2 starts since then. 5 innings, 6 innings, 4 runs. So 11 innings, 4 runs, 10 hits.
He is getting better. He's getting, I think, a little more velocity every time he goes out there. And, hey, this guy's pitched in the big leagues for a while, so he gets it. He knows what he has to do. He'll find his routine and his program, and hopefully he gets it on track. Because there's been some really good competition going on here for about the last 10 games for Indian starters. They've been on a roll, and they are feeding off each other. They're pounding the strike zone.
Kazmir's 1-2 pitch, fouled right back.
And when the starters have pitched as good as they have pitched in the last 2 weeks, they're going to win a lot of games. Because this offense knows they'll get enough runs to win it. Masterson was down 3-0 last night. They end up coming back. What do they win? 4-3. They won 2 games on this homestand when the opposition scored first. And they haven't done that. They've done that a couple of times on this homestand. They're good when they score first.
Fouled off by Donaldson. The count stays 1-2.
Scott averages just about 20 pitches per inning. He's at 19.7, which is up there. Because when you start looking at, he hasn't pitched in a while, and you start looking at pitch counts, that 100-pitch mark will get there in about 5 innings. Although he did go 6 innings in his last start. But this is an Oakland team that takes a lot of pitches. They walk a lot.
Fouled again.
And they foul off a lot of pitches.
Take a look at the starting 9 for Bob Melvin's A's. Rosales, Lowry, Cespedes, Donaldson, then Luke Montz getting the start at DH, Derek Norris, Nate Freeman, his first start in the series at first base, Brandon Moss, and then Michael Taylor will start for the second time in the series batting 9th. He's got it loaded up with 8 right-handed bats in there today. Brandon Moss, the only left-handed swinger. Bounced it in there. Good block by Gomes. Couldn't find it initially.
That ball was so far out in front of the plate. He was looking for it up in the air, and when it hit it just went right out in front. Let's check the Kia Indians defense. Brantley, Stubbs, Swisher in the outfield. Chisenhall, Cabrera, Kipnis, Reynolds on the infield with Gomes catching.
Kazmir again, the set and the 2-2. And a ground ball in the hole. And it's through for a base hit. Second hit of the inning for Oakland. Both have gone between third and short. And that was after a long battle that Donaldson ends up getting aboard. 20 pitches in the inning so far for Scott Kazmir. Keys to the game, aggressive against Bartolo Colon, who's off to a great start for Oakland. And play good defense behind Scott Kazmir.
Well, they've been outstanding defensively. One error in their last 11 games.
High and foul out of play. Well, here are the umpires. Paul Nauert behind the plate. Hernandez, the acting crew chief, in place of Dana DeMuth. John Tumpane is in for DeMuth, and Doug Eddings is at second base. Right back out of play. Two on, two out. Luke Montse, Oakland DH, has some pop. Kazmir's two-strike pitch. Swung out and missed. He strikes him out. Kazmir K's a couple in the first. Oakland strands a pair. The Indians are coming to bat. Bottom of the first, let's look at the Indians starting lineup, brought to you by Progressive, making it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. Michael Brantley, Jason Kipnis, and Asdrubal Cabrera. Nick Swisher, Jason Giambi, 2 for 4 in the series against his former club. Mark Reynolds, then Lonnie Chisenhall, Jan Gomes, and Drew Stubbs.
Bartolo Colon makes the start for the A's. This guy is still throwing the ball well.
Out of play. Michael Brantley swinging the bat pretty well. He's 4 for 9 in the series. But back to your point, I mean, if you'd have taken a look at all those guys the Indians had over those great years during the 90s, this wouldn't have been a guy at the top of your list. You'd say, oh, this guy's going to pitch forever.
Right.
You know?
Right. I mean, he had the best arm. I remember when he was a kid down in the minor leagues with the Indians at 17. He was blessed with just a beautiful arm. And Colon on the year, you know, you can see 6 starts. He's making his 7th, 3-1. 1 walk. And 23 strikeouts. And he throws 91% fastballs. He throws 71% strikes. He doesn't mess around. He's got that little cut to it. And, you know, he can run it away to the left-handers. He's got a 2-strike count now where if he wants, he can start it almost at the hip of the left-handed hitter Brantley and run it back over the inside corner. But when they did trade away Bartolo Colon, that might be one of the best trades that the Indians ever made.
Well, no doubt about it. I mean, it helps rebuild the franchise in a hurry. Brantley with a line drive, base hit in the left field.
There you go. He stayed away with everything, and Michael Brantley made the adjustment in that at-bat. He served it out to left field. See if that ball was up or down. That's elevated a little bit. He didn't have it low, so Michael just serves it out there. Good job of hitting. So Brantley on with a single.
And this is away to Jason Kipnis. Jason 3 hits in the series, including a double and a home run.
Yeah, Colon won 3 of his first 5 starts. He was 3-0 with a couple no decisions. Lost in New York in his last start. Gave up 3 runs in that ball game. They lost 4-2. Oakland just hasn't been scoring a lot, and normally, and Colon gets a lot of run support. They get him about over 7 runs a ball game, so that always helps.
Quick throw to first. Brantley with a couple of steals on the year, but not a guy who's just going to take off at a moment's notice. Fouled in and out of the glove of Derek Norris. Here's the Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile Index.
How about that?
That's being efficient, folks.
Boy, oh boy, that's not messing around. And like I said, he's 90% fastballs. He doesn't mess around. He moves it in and out, has a little movement on it.
Kipnis drives one high in the air, deep left field. Taylor back on the track at the wall. It is gone to Souvenir City. Jason Kipnis with his 4th home run of the season, 2nd in the series, and he continues to blast him with power to the opposite field. He's gone up over that 19-foot wall twice in the series, and this time he gives the Indians a 2-0 lead in the first inning as they continue to get out to early leads. In their last now 11 games, they've outscored the opposition 13-1 in the first inning.
Yeah, and that was that little two-seamer, but it didn't move late like it normally does, and Kipnis stayed on it, and he has shown surprising power the other way. If I'm not mistaken, that's his 3rd homer in the first inning, his 4th homer in the first inning.
All 4 of his home runs. So he likes to get him out to the early lead. And that's exactly what he's done here today against Bartolo Colon. who's now given up 5 dingers on the year as Drupal Cabrera takes it outside.
They did that in Scott Casber's last start. It was he and Swisher that hit the solo shots to give him a 2-0 lead against Minnesota in the first. It's a 5th home run given up by Colon.
2-1 delivery, and Cabrera bangs it foul. Cabrera 2 out of 11 in the series. Both of his hits have left the yard. There's the 2-2. And as Drupal, a swing and a miss. That's the first out in the inning. Here's our great clip of the game from last night. Nick Swisher and Carlos Santana with a couple of blasts for the Indians. And then Swish doing the home run dance in the dugout. Great clips. It's going to be great. You know, last night, the Indians were down 3-0. And then they got 2 walks. And I don't know what you call what Lonnie Chisenhall did.
Well, you called it beautiful. A seeing eye.
He said after the game last night, I crushed that ball. And Terry Francona told me, he said, you know, I told Lonnie I wanted him to take 2 days off to work with Ty, not to follow how I used to hit the baseball. Yeah. But it was just a little odd infield flare. They loaded the bases, and then a couple of errors. You scored 2 runs.
Well, the one error, on a double play ball, they could have been out of the inning.
There's a fly ball deep to left field again, but Taylor is there, and this time he'll make the catch for out number 2. Well, as Swisher trots off, there'll be no dance after that. But Katie, you asked Nick about the dance in the dugout last night.
I sure did. You know, Swisher and his swagger, the guys in the dughouse and in the clubhouse last night were loving it. You know, they just said he's the type of guy that rubs off on you. Kipnis said that he even had him doing the second chorus of the dance with him last night. And he just told me, you know what, Swisher never needs any extra encouragement, but it's awesome to have that type of positive energy all the time this year.
Well, that was one part. And how about the play he made at first base? He got up and he had a good time after he made a nice play. He has fun playing the game of baseball, and you should. And it does rub off, and it is contagious.
Cologne's 2-strike pitch. And Giambi a little check swing foul.
I don't think you can have more than one of them on a team, though.
Three-man shift on the right side for Giambi, and Cologne's 0-2.
Yeah. Ooh.
Just missing. A ball and 2 strikes.
Well, let's look at this pitch on our Nissan pitch tracker. Away. You can see the movement that he has that runs away from that left-handed hitter. But, you know, he's a guy with such good control. When he gets you 0-2, he can put it 3 inches off the dish to see if he'll get you to swing at it. But a veteran took that pitch in Giambi. He knows the strike zone.
Bartolo Colon, a couple of weeks shy of his 40th birthday. Giambi, a couple of years beyond that 40-year-old mark. So 2 grizzled veterans squaring off today here at Progressive Field. And Bartolo Colon's 1-2 pitch. And Giambi just spoils it to stay alive. A 25-pitch inning for Cologne so far. It started with a Brantley opposite field single, a Kipnis opposite field 2-run homer. And now with 2 down, a 1-2 count on Giambi. A lot of strikeouts on the right side, a lot of home runs on the left side of your screen there.
That's already 10 foul balls this inning off Cologne. So we showed you earlier that he has the lowest pitch count per inning in the league at 13.2 or 13.5. He's already at 26 pitches. 10 foul balls.
Up and away. That pitch in there at 94. Cologne, when he was with the Indians, he could sit at 97 and 98 miles an hour. Now the 2-2. Giambi swats it in the air, shallow right center. Moss, the right fielder, makes the catch, and the inning is over. But Jason Kipnis goes deep in the first inning to give the Tribe a 2-0 lead. Nothing. As we go now to the second inning, Scott Kazmir will be facing 6, 7, and 8 in the Oakland lineup. Derek Norris to lead it off, the A's catcher. Norris 2 out of 7 in the series. And Kazmir, first pitch strike. That's sliced down the line, out of play. Derek Norris, 250 average so far on the year. And part of the problem right now for Oakland, and remember, they came in playing awfully well. But the Indians, give the pitching staff credit, they have shut them down. And offense is suddenly becoming a quick problem for this bunch. Cespedes, he's struggling offensively. Luke Montz, Derek Norris, Nate Freeman, they got a lot of different faces in that lineup today as Bob Melvin tries to find the right combination. Derek Norris went too far on the check swing. Third strikeout for Kazmir, 1 down in the second inning.
Well, Kazmir's a guy always been able to, he could throw the fastball by you with 2 strikes because sometimes he will get ahead of you with that slider. You can see he couldn't hold his swing up on the fastball. That's about the letters. And this is you're talking about the Oakland team. Reddick wanted to the disabled list right here in this series. Coco Crisp is on the DL. When they're firing on all cylinders, they're a pretty good ball club, but right now they're struggling to score runs, and the Indians' pitching has been very good.
They don't come much bigger than Nate Freeman, who goes 6-7, the Massachusetts native. It's a good thing this isn't a basketball game, because with Freeman and with Michael Taylor in the lineup, they'd have a pretty good and imposing front line.
A couple of power forwards for you.
Fouled right back. Freeman was originally an 8th-round pick of the Padres in 2009 out of Duke. In fact, Freeman owns the Duke mark for career homers with 43. And a ground ball foul. I think might have pronounced his name Freeman. It's actually pronounced Fryman, almost like Travis Fryman, the former Indian. Spelled F-R-E-I-M-A-N, but pronounced Fryman. Wonder how this guy got past Coach Krzyzewski, Coach K down there at Duke at 6'7". 4th strikeout for Kazmir, 3 straight. And with 2 down in the inning, let's go downstairs and see what Katie has on Kazmir.
Well, Matt, Mickey Callaway started working on the spin of Scott Kazmir's curveball a couple of weeks ago, and he started to get a really good feel for it when he changed his grip to a spike curve. And when when it's out there, they said it's really been effective because it's actually slower than his changeup, and inadvertently it's added some depth to his slider, too.
Ground ball right to Kipnis.
Cliff Lee throws that spike curveball. A number of guys throw that spike curveball. Gives you better rotation.
10-pitch inning. A's go quickly. 1-2-3. Indians with a 2-0 lead, bottom of the 2nd. Mark Reynolds, Lonnie Chisenhall, Jan Gomes due up here for the Tribe. And Reynolds looks at a strike. Just 1 for 9 in the series, but boy, that one was big. The home run Reynolds hit in the, was that the series opener, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Monday night, yeah. Sure was.
After he was drilled in the first inning. He came up and just launched it.
Came off Jared Parker.
Reynolds spoiling it out of play to the right.
Remember that first at-bat, he got hit by a pitch. Ball that got away from Parker, and then, a little revenge right there. Took him way deep, 460 feet worth.
Well, and I know there were Oh, Reynolds drives one deep right field. Running back Moss. He won't get it. Short hops the wall. And Reynolds easily into second base with a leadoff double. His 6th two-bagger of the year. And so the Indians with some oppo pop here in the early going.
That was an 0-2 pitch, too.
Yeah.
And he watched the easy swing he put on. He just stayed on it. He gave in now with 2 strikes. But Cologne has been upstairs a couple times. The ball Kipnis hit the opposite way was elevated a little bit. And now Reynolds gets one. He drives it to right center field. Short hops the wall. So a leadoff double.
Lonnie Chisenhall lifts one in the air to left. Taylor, over near the line, makes the catch. Reynolds will hold one away. Here's our injury report brought to you by Elk & Elk, serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Boy, Boston's had some trouble in their bullpen. They've lost their closer and the guy who was filling in for the closer.
That's not good.
And Jay Happ with a skull fracture on the DL for Toronto, but all things indicate that he's doing better after that line drive that struck him the other night. Luckily, I don't have to call Elk & Elk because I didn't have a serious injury.
Today?
Just a serious guffaw. I went to sit down. Arch and I were having lunch. I went to sit down, and I'm not that heavy, am I?
No. No, you're not.
A chair completely buckled beneath me, and I went down on my back like a turtle trying to get
I handed them my business card and told them they may hear from us later.
Dewey, Cheatham, and Hal will be giving you a call. Everybody had a good laugh at my expense. That's what it's all about. Here's the pitch, and Gomes takes a little bit low. Actually, the poor girls that worked in there, I think they were terrified. They thought I was really hurt. I'm like, come on. I fell like 18 inches maybe. No big deal. The 1-2 pitch. Reminds me of that old nightclub act with Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, when Dean Martin would say, I fall down a lot. And Frank Sinatra says, well, what happens? He says, well, it hurts. 1-1. 1-on-1 out, a 2-2 count for Gomes. Cologne delivers, and Gomes shoots one over the bank fair, down the right field line. Around third, Reynolds will score. Gomes digging for second. The ball got by Moss. He's going to keep on rolling all the way to third as the Indians now have a 3-0 lead as Gomes delivers the RBI double and then goes to third when Moss misplayed the ball down the line.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that's just a beautiful job of hitting there by Yan Gomes, who picked up his teammate, Chisenhall. Went up there on the first pitch, flew out to left field, didn't move the runner. This is going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. See him stay inside the baseball, and that ball stayed fair. Down the line, he's going to get the run home anyway. It's going to be a double, but on the ricochet, Moss has trouble with it. It gets by him and allows Gomes to go to third base. It makes it a 3-0 game, and now they have to bring the infield in. So it is a double and an error, right?
Yes, it is.
That's the right call.
Now the infield drawn in, as Rick mentioned. Now Drew Stubbs trying to get him home from third. A little situational baseball here from the number 9 hitter. Stubbs 1 for 11 in the series. And now he steps away as Cologne took a little too much time getting the sign. Mentioning that Drew's just 1 for 11 in the series, but even with that 1 for 11, on the homestand, 11 out of 31. So he had been really swinging it well before Oakland put his bat on ice. But he chops one to third. It's through. A base hit, and Stubbs makes it 4-0 Cleveland. Drew's 10th RBI on the year. Banged it through the hole on the left side.
Well, I always used to think it makes it easier when you get that infield in and you have a man on third base and less than 2 outs. You can shorten that swing and just try and hit the ball hard somewhere. And as long as it's not right at one of the infielders, you see Donaldson diving for the ball. It gets by him. That's 5 hits now for the Indians. The first time through the lineup off Cologne. 2 doubles, a home run, and it is a 4-0 game.
Brantley, a bouncer that gets through. Stubbs hits second. He's flying all the way to third. Moss's throw not even close. How's that for some first to third speed?
Yeah, you love it, don't you? It's fun when you run the bases the right way, and then Drew Stubbs certainly does that. I mean, this is what you want. You get a base hit. You got to run around first. You want a first and third him. And that's exactly, Stubbs didn't hesitate, turns, makes a good throw, and look at him, just outruns the ball, makes it easily.
Indians on top 4-0. First and third, 1 out. Kurt Young, the Oakland pitching coach, out to the mound to talk to Cologne, who's getting roughed up here early by the Tribe.
Well, MLB.com at bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers Indians baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Indians.com.
Cologne ready, the pitch. And Jason Kipnis backs away. Kip launched one high in the air over the 19-foot wall and left his first time up. Takes inside corner, 1-1.
Yeah. He has to start pitching some of these guys inside because Kipnis, the last time up, hit the home run to left center field on a pitch away and up. There's the first inning home runs we were talking about. Jason Kipnis, Justin Upton with 4.
Now the 1-1. And there's a high drive deep to center. Back is Cespedes, still going back and makes the over-the-shoulder catch right in front of the 400-foot mark. In straightaway center field, Stubbs tags and scores. Kipnis has driven in 3 already here today. It's 5-0 Cleveland.
Well, that's the benefit of going first to third. Now you don't get an at-bat and you get an RBI instead of going station to station. Kipnis hit this ball again right on the nose. And it's straightaway central, 400 feet away. Cespedes, for the second time in this series, makes a catch running away from home plate for a sacrifice fly, and the Indians make it 5-0.
As Drupal Cabrera swing and a miss. Cabrera 2 out of 12 in the series. After the strikeout in the first. Fouled right back. Brantley takes his lead at first. 0-2 count on Cabrera. A little bit outside.
You know, if you're a hitter, this is the kind of guy you like to face, Matt, because there's no questions. He has thrown a changeup, I noticed, to Giambi. He's thrown a couple sliders that I've saw, but other than that, it's basically fastballs. You guess in or out. And there's that little comebacker right there on the inside part of the plate.
Long gets the strikeout, but not before the Indians do some damage. 3 more come home, 5-0 Cleveland. Baseball is brought to you by McDonald's new Premium McWrap. Try one today. And by Kia. Another beautiful day here at the ball yard. The Indians with a 5-0 lead. Michael Taylor leads off for Oakland. And Scott Kazmir, who's got to love the offensive support that he's been getting. Misses for ball 1. Kazmir 34 pitches, 25 of those have been strikes, including that one. That's 6 swings and misses for the A's. A little bit too high, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, Scott Kazmir in his career has liked pitching against the A's. He has won more decisions, 9 against the A's, than any other team in the majors. So a 9-5 career record.
Whew. Scott Kazmir has whiffed 5 Oakland hitters already here today. Here's our stat of the game, brought to you by your Northern Ohio Buick dealers. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Here you go.
Go ahead.
Well, you can see in 17 starts, he's 9-5 with a 3.91 ERA. Sorry, I jumped the gun. Most wins against any opponent. Thought I said that already.
There's a ground ball up the middle, and Adam Rosales is 2 for 2. He's the only A's hitter who's really been able to zero in on Kazmir, although Josh Donaldson also has a hit, and he's batting in the 4-hole.
Well, the first fireworks show of the season is going to take place May 17th. That's we'll return home and we'll face the Seattle Mariners. So catch the post-game fireworks set to the music of the Beatles.
You know, to get back to your point about Kazmir and the numbers that he has in his career against Oakland, he told Katie before the game he feels like he's had a lot of success at the Coliseum in Oakland.
Right.
But I looked up his numbers. I mean, they're okay, but they're not like, wow, jumping off the chart at you. He's 6-4 lifetime at the Coliseum with a 4.12 ERA.
Yeah, I mean, nothing exceptional, but, he probably remembers some pretty good games he pitched
That's
there.
all it takes. You have 1 or 2 good ones, and I love that place.
It's not like he's in that division, but he was when he was with the Angels, but he was the better pitcher when he was with Tampa.
All time at the Trop, he's 27-17 with a 3.65 ERA. Low and away. Jed Lowry bounced into a fielder's choice his first time up. I'll tell you what's really interesting. In 7 career starts at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, his ERA is 2.70. That is impressive. The 2-1. Swung on and missed. He raised it up high with a heater. And Lowry couldn't catch up. He's also got good career numbers. 7 career starts at Comerica Park in Detroit and a 2.56 ERA there. That's really good news considering he'll probably have a few starts in that ball yard.
Yes, if he stays in that rotation, he certainly will this year. Playing those guys who we have 9 or 10 times in Detroit.
Lowry able to check, did not go, says Angel Hernandez at first.
And he did. He certainly did check. Oakland's probably feeling that's the only call that's gone our way.
The 3-2 pitch. Fouled back. Oakland really would love to see Jed Lowry get it going. He snapped an 0 for 14 with a base hit last night.
Well, the first 2-3 weeks of the season, this guy was on fire. Nobody could get him out. But he has come down to earth, as they say. He's down to about the 300 mark, 302. Oakland has been a terrific team in their division. They beat Houston 6 times. They're 6-0, and they're 5-1 against the Angels.
Yeah.
But, other than that, they're 2-2 against Seattle, and they've struggled against everybody else.
They were coming off a big series win in New York. They went into Yankee Stadium, took 2 or 3 from the Yankees. So, as I said, they came in here playing well. It's not like they limped in here and the Indians are beating up on a wounded team. But Oakland has been stymied by the Indians pitching. 3-2 pitch. Hit hard to third. Chisenhall grabs it out, number 2. Lonnie Leather taking a hit
Right
away.
at him. Right into the tracks. He didn't have to take a step. He just leaned to his left. Put the glove out there and it went in. So a line drive at him.
Rick, talking about the Indians and how they're playing right now, it's a little bit like the chicken or the egg. You talk to hitters, and hitters all give credit saying because of the way the pitchers are throwing, the starters in particular, they're giving us a chance to get going. We don't feel like, hey, we got to come back every night. We're down 3 early. We're down 4 early.
Like we saw it earlier in the year.
Last year, too, in a lot of cases. So the hitters give credit to the pitchers because they're giving them a chance to get on track. Pitchers are giving credit to the hitters because even if they do give up a couple of runs early, this is an offense that can come back and score at any time.
They're playing really well as a team right now, and this is a time to remember. When you play well, look at all the breaks they've gotten on this homestand. I'm talking little breaks. Last night, before they hit the 2 home runs, they didn't hit a ball out of the infield. They scored 2 runs. They're taking advantage of the breaks that they make for themselves. The pitchers are pitching well. The hitters they're hitting well with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. The home runs. You can't play much better than they're playing right now. They're on a roll, and that's why their record is so good. And it comes in spurts throughout the course of the year. So remember this one. This is a really good one to remember.
The 1-1 downstairs.
Because it doesn't stay like this all year. You know, you have bits and pieces. Okay, your pitching will be good for a while. The offense won't score. Your offense will start scoring. Your pitching won't be there. They're playing great defense right now. They're catching everything in sight. Playing really good as a team.
The 2-1 pitch is out of play. I think what gives you reason to be optimistic, though, not that they're going to sustain this level of play throughout the season, but what gives you reason to be optimistic is that they can win in different ways.
Yeah.
You know, they've been able to slug 8, 9, 10-run games out, but they won a 1-0 game the other night. They can win a 4-3 game.
I can't wait for this weekend. We go to Detroit.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
I mean, it's going to be a good weekend.
Good
We're
atmosphere.
playing well. We're playing well. We're going into their house, and, you know, everybody's picked Detroit.
Cespedes swing and a miss, and Kazmir continues to sparkle here in the afternoon. Just a reminder then, if you don't remember, to enjoy a cold one. Later in the ball game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. 5-zip Indians, bottom of the third. Nick Swisher, Jason Giambi, and Mark Reynolds coming up. Bartolo Colon deals, and Swisher drives it to deep right field. Goodbye! Nick Swisher, home run number 5, makes it 6-0 Cleveland. His second home run in the series as the Indians are battering Bartolo Colon.
Seems like every time that Kipnis hits a home run, swishes right on his tail. He hits his 5th. 2 more for the Indians today. That gives them 48 on the season. They lead the league in that department, and there's a solo shot, and it's a 6-0 ball game. But, you know, you knew coming in if you get aggressive against Colon because he's going to throw nothing but strikes. He doesn't walk. He has 1 walk on the year. He's gone. This is the 70th hitter, and he's gone since the last time he has walked a batter, and he's still not going to come close, I wouldn't think.
Giambi looks, it's outside. 3-1. He's close. Will he walk a batter here? The 3-1. He lays it in there, and Giambi fouls it back. Full count. There's a high fly ball deep to center, but back is Cespedes, and he'll make the catch. One away.
You look at Swisher coming out, leading off this inning, getting a pitch to his liking, a fastball, and right there. Had that mid-thigh. He had an extension, leaned back on it, and he knew he got it. Second home run of the day for the Indians.
Five home runs all here at Progressive Field. Well, the Indians have hit 19 home runs on this homestand.
Man.
To go along with 16 doubles and a triple. So that's 36 extra base hits compared to 16 for the opposition.
Well, they've turned it around since their first homestand, didn't they?
Oh, have they ever. Well, they lost 6 out of their first 8 at home. But they got the home cooking back.
They certainly did. It all started that second game of the doubleheader in Kansas City.
Yes.
It seemed like everything clicked. And I'm talking about the starting pitching, the offense, everything. And it hasn't stopped since. So it's been a nice run.
Well, they got a good start in that game. You remember that was Corey Kluber who got the start.
Right.
They scored early. That's been a big theme.
Aviles
the
had the
runs.
big day, 5 ribbies.
Riding that wave of momentum. The 1-2 to Reynolds. A little bit outside.
Yep.
Tried to hold up, but that slider in the dirt. He went after it. Third strikeout for Cologne. 2 down in the inning. Time now for today's AT&T trivia question. Name the last pitcher to win 10 games in each league in the same season. We'll have the answer coming up later in the game. Lonnie Chisenhall flied to left, his first and only time up. Foul back out of play.
Well, this should be a guy that Lonnie's looking forward to facing, I would think, because he likes the fastball. He's a dead fastball hitter. You don't have to guess anything else. His first at bat, he had the runner on second base, and it hit that first pitch to left field.
Now the 1-2. Missed inside. Lonnie Chisenhall was 9 years old when Bartolo Colon made his major league debut with the Indians.
Just a tyke, huh?
Rip foul. Was there anybody when you your first tour of duty, first time in the big leagues, was there anybody you said, wow, I'm on the same field with
Frank Robinson, Carl Yastrzemski? Yeah, guys
like
in
your own dugout
Harmon,
too.
Yeah, Harmon Killebrew, and sure, guys I'm watching in high school and stuff coming up. Yeah, and you're on the field with Boog Powell, a lot of guys that you were watching in the playoffs, in World Series.
Chisenhall drills it deep and foul.
Well, because it wasn't around, you didn't see every game.
No, that's
true.
true.
They had a Saturday game of the week, and you had to follow these guys through newspaper, radio, and once a week on television.
So they were built up even bigger in your mind.
In your own mind.
Yeah,
I mean, just from Because you'd take your radio to the high school and you'd listen to games and have to find a way to keep it in there. And so yeah, you remember the names.
Lonnie with a line drive base hit. 2-out single keeps the inning alive.
Well, this is a start. He had a nice high fastball. Didn't try and do too much with it. That's the old saying, take what the pitcher gives you. There you go. What's wrong with a base hit? You feel good about yourself.
Well, that can lead to bigger
things. He needs that. He needs it. Well, yeah, you got to start back from square one. Tito gave him a couple of days off to get his swing back together. That's something to build on right there.
Now, Jan Gomes, who had a terrific at-bat his first time up. Not surprising that Colon goes inside, try to knock him back, because in his first at-bat, Gomes took a pitch the other way. Outside pitch right over the bag at first for an RBI double.
I mean, beautiful. I'll tell you what, this kid here is really, see, he just goes the other way. He picks up, it was a double, Lonnie made it out, and he picks him up. Because he drives him in. Not only that, with that error there, he gets to third base. He comes around to score. That was the third run in that inning. Well, the second run he scored. They added one more after that.
Because the error, though, made him bring the infield in. So opens up a spot for Stubbs to bang it through.
Things up. The more you see this guy, the more you have to like him. Because you know what? He adds a little offensively. And defensively, his ERA is about a 2. He's caught. This is his 10th game he started catching. His ERA when he's behind the plate for pitchers is 2.89. He can throw very well. It's going to be tough to keep this guy. You can't send this guy out the way he's playing right now.
Well, what I like is he's not just happy to be here. As Sandy Alomar says, he sits in there in the dugout and he's asking me questions all the time.
Yeah, I watched the interview in the pregame yesterday with Al, and the kid is he wants to be here. There's no question.
Rosales goes to second for the inning-ending force, but Nick Swisher goes deep. Another long ball for the Indians. 6-0 Tribe. Lead through 3 innings of action. Scott Kazmir has shut out the A's through the first 3. He has struck out a half dozen and he's given up 3 singles. Hasn't walked a batter, so again he continues to build and looks better each time out. That's what I said about him after his last start, and he's done nothing to dispel that so far here today.
No, keep it rolling.
And Donaldson, who singled between third and short his first time up, takes a called strike. Down in the dirt. Guts and misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Man, the left-hander flips the 1-2 in there, and a hot ground ball hit to short. Cabrera flips it over. 1 away. Katie Witham has a couple of special guests with her today here at the ballpark. Katie.
Hey, Matt. Yes, I do. I'm hanging out with 2 Bobcats right now. We've got the head coach, football coach, Tom Solich, here with us. I just called you Tom, and your name is Frank. I apologize. I don't know where that came
no
from.
No problem. I've been called a lot of things, so that's all right.
Well, Coach, you're coming off one of your best seasons with this football program. I know you've got your quarterback back and your star running back. Just, I guess, your thoughts on what this season was, and obviously the future's bright.
Yeah, we got off to a great start in the season. Won 7 in a row, but really, as we got to the middle of the season, we tailed off a little bit. Combination of things caused that. Played really well at the end of the year to end up winning our bowl game and 2 bowl game wins in a row with 4 bowl games in a row. So the program is doing fine. We just need to take some more steps.
All right, Coach, and I'm here with the basketball coach as well, Jim Christian, and you're coming off your first season. How did that go for you?
Oh, really exciting. I think our team did some great things. First time we won the regular season conference in 18 years, but unfortunately for us, we didn't get a chance to play in the tournament because in our league you have to win that last game, and we didn't win that one. So a lot of things to play for, but very, very excited about where we're going.
Well, I'm excited about where you're going, and I love seeing both of you throw out that first pitch today.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Matt, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Katie.
Frank short-hopped it, didn't he?
Yeah, but you know what? He gets a pass because that's one of Cleveland's owns right there.
Okay.
Holy name, high school.
All right, but watch. We were watching him throw it out, and it's a short hop.
Yeah.
That's okay. All right, we'll give him a pass.
He's all running back. They didn't get to throw the ball when you're a running back in those days.
Don't make excuses, Matty. You got to get it to the dish.
He's done such a terrific job. I mean, first of all, he's a proud Northeastern Ohioan. Spent a long time at Nebraska under Tom Osborne with the Cornhuskers and built that program, helped him build that program into one of the real premier football programs of the 1980s and on into the 90s. Then he goes to OU, a program football-wise dormant for decades, and now he's got them back on the map. We had a chance to do a couple of his games over the last few years on Sports Time Ohio, Frank Stams and I, and just really impressed with the job he's done. He's brought a lot of excitement to Athens, Ohio when it comes to football.
Well, good for him and his program.
Derek Norris struck out his first time up.
A lot of work, but it's always fun when you turn it around.
No doubt, no doubt. Scott Kazmir trying to set the side down in order for the second time today. Able to check on a close pitch. 3-1 the count. Kazmir says, give me another pill. Let me try a different one. Now the lefty's 3-1. High pop. Cabrera flips the sunglasses down. Brantley's in. Michael says, I've got it. He does. And for the first time today, Scott Kazmir does not strike a batter out in an inning, but he does set him down 1, 2, 3.
Fans out there, the next Sugardale Dollar Dog Night will be next Friday. The Seattle Mariners are in town. Fireworks afterwards. You can load up on all the hot dogs you want all night long, $1. Log on to Indians.com for the tickets.
The Indians on top here today, 6-0. Bottom of the fourth inning. They've done a lot of damage already. Colon came into the game with 23 strikeouts and only 1 walk. He has not walked a batter. He has struck out 3. But here's the interesting thing. Coming into the inning, he had thrown 71 pitches, and the Indians had swung at 52% of them. 37 of the 71 pitches they have swung at in this game. But that might not be surprising, because if you know coming in he throws a lot of strikes, you're going to be aggressive. That's going to be the game plan. So they have been aggressive, and they have put some good swings on the ball already here today. 8 hits, and a lot of them have been clobbered.
Yeah, they've had a beautiful approach today. You know, sometimes when you have this noon game, after night game, you'll come out and it seems like you sort of sleepwalk it for first 3-4 innings and things like that. But they came right out of the chute, man, where Brantley singled, Kipnis homered. Next thing you know, it's 2-0 after 2 hitters in the game.
Maybe that helps get your intensity up quicker, knowing, hey, I'm facing a guy that throws a lot of strikes. I mean, a lot of fastballs, challenge. I'm not going to have to worry about being tricked.
Well, I think your approach as a hitter would me. Let's go.
Yeah.
You look for that first fastball, which you know you're going to get, and go get after it.
4th strikeout for Cologne as Stubbs goes down 1 away.
Hey, there's something different. Breaking ball from Cologne. Throws the slider to retire Stubbs. Stubbs had the base hit with the infield in the last time up. Got it into left field. So he strikes him out on a slider.
Beautiful look at the ballpark right there.
Is today just like picture
perfect? I
perfect?
was just going to say, it's just still such a great looking yard all these years later.
This just ends a great homestand right here, a day like today.
Yeah.
You know, a beautiful day game. You had a great homestand. You're going into the division leaders ballpark tomorrow for a weekend series and come right back and play 2 more on Monday. Doesn't get any better than that.
And I know there's been a lot of chatter about attendance. It's going to come up. It's going to pick up. People are going to start buying into this team. There'll be big crowds here in June.
Well, it's a fun team to watch.
No doubt about it. Brantley in the air, left center. They converge. Oh, nice play by Cespedes. Taylor trying to get out of the way, slipped. And Cespedes makes the catch and the little hurdle hop.
Yeah.
What an athlete.
Well, you know what? That big guy, he doesn't play every day out there, so it's a day game. It's tough to see. You got to get out of the way. That's a center fielder's ball if he's calling for it, and I'm sure he was, and he finally hurt him and then gets out of the way. But there's nothing wrong with that. That's something you have to work through because normally Coco's the center fielder. Cespedes is out in left field. So, you know, it's different, and you have to communicate.
Jason Kipnis fouling it out of play. There's a strike, 1 and 2 the count. Yeah, look at those homestand numbers. 306 average, 10 ribbies in the 9 games. Over the mound. Lowry will have to hurry, and he does just get Kipnis. The Indians go 1-2-3. 4 complete, 6-0 Cleveland. brought to you by the wireless receiver only from AT Uverse. Rethink possible. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Panini's with 19 locations in Northeast Ohio. All Indians so far here today. Nate Fryman, the number 7 hitter, fouls one back out of play. Here in the 5th inning. Cuts and misses. Down and in. All back foot piece. But Fryman wouldn't offer at it. Good eye as he lays off. Hit in the air to center field. Back goes Stubbs, and Drew's there to make the catch, one away. Here's the AT&T Uverse Rewind. How about Scott Kazmir today?
Well, he's had it work, and he's had a good fastball he can throw up in the zone. He's had a good breaking ball, and that's Scott. He's going to use the changeup. He's going to use a slider. He's going to use his fastball. You locate it, and he's done very well. 6 strikeouts, hasn't walked a batter yet, and given up 3 singles.
High in the air, left field, over near the line. Brantley gives chase. Running out of room, can't get to it. Right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, the buzz continues over last night's disputed call. Sam Amico on the shot 24 years later. Can it be that? 24 years. Wow. And a look back on the career of Mount Union's Larry Karras. What a career he's had. FoxSportsOhio.com. Moss taking, called strike over the outside corner. I was actually at that game, the Cavs-Bulls game, when Michael Jordan ended their season. Just can't believe that's almost a quarter of a century ago.
Time flies, boy.
I still can remember it like it was yesterday, just the energy, the excitement, and then just dead silence.
I know it.
It's like, what just happened? Moss went too far, and there is another strikeout. That's 7 for Kazmir, 2 down in the inning, and he is retired 7 in a row.
Yeah, this one, a check swing. He comes back with the breaking ball off the dish. And he's really making it look easy right now.
Here is Michael Taylor, who is a big young man, as we have highlighted earlier. 6'5", 255 pounds. No balls, 2 strikes. When he was just 10 years old, Michael Taylor was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes. And he said it was 3 days before Halloween. They tell you can't have candy anymore. And he said as a 10-year-old, you're devastated. But he's overcome that. And that's quite a challenge, because when you're diagnosed with juvenile diabetes, there are a lot of challenges like insulin shots and just a daily maintenance program. Taylor lines one down the left field line. Brantley will get over to cut it off. And Michael Taylor snaps that string of 7 in a row, retired by Kazmir with a 2-out single here in the 5th.
I'll tell you what, he goes down and hits this ball. That's a good pitch. For a big man, he got the barrel head of that bat down. It almost looked like he hit a 9-iron. Served it into left field.
Now back to Adam Rosales. The leadoff hitter is 2 for 2 today. 2 singles, giving him 4 hits in the series. Rosales was a former 12th round pick of Cincinnati back in 2005 out of Western Michigan. Little Mid-American Conference love with Frank Solich and Jim Christian in attendance here today. Kazmir has been a strike throwing machine. Hit in the air, right field near the line, over his Swisher. He won't get to it, and that will find its way into the seats. Rosales grew up in Chicago and really patterns his game around being a gamer. He said, I want to be that guy that hustles, runs out every ball. And when he was with the Reds, he got a chance to meet Charlie Hustle, the most famous Red of all, Pete Rose. And Rosales said, Pete Rose said to him, I like the way you play the game. That's pretty high praise. Two-strike pitch, up and away. I challenge you to go back and look at any highlight you can dig up of Pete Rose and find a ball he hit where he didn't bust it all the way through.
He was the Charlie Hustle, man.
1-2 pitch coming up. Close, but that breaking ball just missing, and Rosales able to lay off.
Upstairs a little bit. Yeah.
And the 2-2 out in front of it, but he fights it off, stays alive. Rosales is a guy, luckily we didn't have to see it last night, but when he does hit a home run, there is no trot. He sprints all the way around the bases. He said, I've been doing it since I was 12, and I made a promise to my 12-year-old self that as far as I would made it, I would never Cadillac it, jog. I would always do it the same way.
He's the only one that does that.
He got a splinter of the bat on that beat ball, and again, he just keeps himself alive. You'll see yet another pitch from Scott Kazmir.
Well, and they've been struggling to score runs, so with the left-hander pitching, you see where Rosales, Bob Melvin kept him in the lineup today at short, and he moves Lowry over to second base. Looking to try and get a little more offense in the lineup. But Scott Kazmir has done a nice job, man. 4 hits to this point, all singles. One more out to get through 5 right here. This guy is battling. He finds a way to get a piece of the ball, doesn't he?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, they aren't loud foul balls. A lot of them just barely tick him.
Yeah, but lives for another pitch. 5 foul balls he's had in this at bat.
This will be the 9th pitch of the at bat. Got him. Kazmir finally pulled the string on him for his 8th strikeout of the afternoon. Well, it's a 6-0 lead for the Indians going to the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Tribe has already knocked Bartolo Colon out of the ball game. Today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. Evan Scribner for the 12th time this year, 2nd time in the series. Colon went 4 innings, allowed 6 runs on 8 hits, did not walk a batter, struck out 4, allowed 2 home runs.
Yeah, that was Colon's shortest start of the year.
And 2 doubles.
So he comes back to his former home, and the Indians treated him roughly.
As Dribble Cabrera 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts, takes a look at a ball inside. That's hit in the air, left field, near the line. Taylor on the move, can't get to it. Cabrera turns first, headed for second. Throw is cut off. And Cabrera able to get in there safely with a double. Game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Jason Kipnis' first inning opposite field 2-run blast put the Indians on top early. Drew Stubbs with the infield drawn in, singled to make it 4-0. And then Nick Swisher with a solo jack, 6-0. In favor of the Indians, and now their leadoff man aboard at second base here in the 5th. Nick Swisher coming up to the plate here. Homered his last time up, that rocket shot to right field. Major League Baseball has just now released an official statement with regards to what happened last night here in the 9th inning with the disputed home run, the review on replay by the umpiring crew. Joe Torre, Executive Vice President of Baseball Operations, issuing this statement. By rule, the decision to reverse the call is at the sole discretion of the crew chief. In Angel Hernandez's opinion, there was not clear and convincing evidence to overturn the decision on the field. It was a judgment call, and as such, it stands as final. However, Torre went on to say, given what we saw, we recognize that an improper call was made. Perfection is an impossible standard in any endeavor, but our goal is always to get the calls right. Earlier this morning, we began the process of speaking with the crew to thoroughly review all the circumstances surrounding last night's decision, end quote.
Okay.
So there you have it. It's done. It's final. And now they're going to go back and look at, okay, what went wrong? How can we make it better?
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what? They're human. You're going to make mistakes. I mean, no matter what you do, you look at it, whether it's baseball, and they don't do a lot of it. It's just home run calls, you know, down the lines and over the fences in baseball. In football, they do a lot more. And they still get some wrong there. You can't be 100% sure no matter how many cameras you have.
Swisher out looking. First strikeout for Scribner, 1 down.
I mean, we had our look at it, and we decided, hey, that ball, this is our own home park, and it did hit that railing. Initially, before we saw the replay, we couldn't tell, but you could on the replay. So it was just one of those things.
Well, I'll be curious, and who knows if we will ever be privy to such information.
We won't.
What we'd like to know is, what did Angel Hernandez get to see? Did they get to see the blown-up replay that we just showed you? Because if you don't see that,
true.
Giambi floats one, And it's going to drop for a base hit. Coming around third, Cabrera. He will score, and Giambi has his third RBI in the series against his old club.
Cabrera did a beautiful job of recognizing that ball was going to drop in. He read it off the bat very well. He got a good jump and took off as soon as it was hit. He didn't hesitate. Watch his jump. There he goes. He looks. He knows nobody's going to get there, and you just keep right on running. Good base running by Cabby, and Giambi gets the base hit and an RBI. 7-0 ball game.
Yeah, Giambi, 3 hits in the series. Now Mark Reynolds doubled and scored in the second.
You know, when it all comes down, you want the correct call to be made. Right. I don't care if it's for you, against you. You want the correct call. The integrity of the game, you want to get it straight. I'm all for more replays in baseball, to tell you the truth. Take a little more of the pressure away from the umpires to get it right.
And I see your point. I just don't know where you draw the line.
Well, you got to move on and try. I mean, they'll find a way. You will have. It's not going to be on balls and strikes, of course.
No, you can't get to that.
But I'm talking fair and foul down the lines, and
trap ball.
Yeah, why not? Hey, if the guy trapped it and he missed it, why not use it? We see it.
What about a tag play? Would you leave that out of it?
Yeah, I would leave a tag play out of it as of right now, but I'd like to see more of it in it, just so you can get the correct call.
Reynolds jumps on it, drives it to deep center field. Cespedes out of room. It's out of here. Mark Reynolds, his league-leading 11th home run of the year. And the Indians have blown this baby wide open. They lead it 9-0.
I'm going to tell you, this guy, it's a different sound when he hits the ball. And he goes to right center field. Listen. Oh, you didn't have it. They didn't have the audio, but it's another pitch upstairs with the letters. There's the sound. It's a crack, and I mean it's a deep crack. Right center field. There's his 11th home run on the year. It's now 9-0. He is fun to watch swing the bat.
3 more home runs by the most prolific home run hitting team in the league, and now I think they've even overtaken the Atlanta Braves for the most home runs in all of baseball. I think they were 1 behind Atlanta coming into today. Boy.
What a difference he's made in the middle of that lineup.
Some kind of fun to watch. And
I think the most, it might have been Shelley Duncan last year, had 11 all year long as far as the right side of the plate goes. They hit 38 from the right side, and I think Duncan had 11. Well, Reynolds has 11, and what's it, May 9th?
Mm-hmm. Well, and as you know from all your years playing in the big leagues, when you have a power hitter in your lineup, let's go back. We were just watching some old-time highlights the other day, Andre Thornton. You can't just have him sitting there all by himself. You've got to have a Bobby Bonds to protect him, or a big. You
need help around him.
You have to. And,
yes.
And last year there just wasn't enough support for a Carlos Santana, or as Drupal Cabrera.
No, because when you get hot, you don't have to throw the guy strikes if you don't have anybody that can hurt you after that.
Right.
But, he doesn't pull balls. You know what I'm saying? He's not a dead pull hitter where he has to hit him. He can hit him out of the biggest part of the ballpark. He's got 2 to right center. He's got 2 to straightaway center field. Now, if you speed up his bat, he can pull it and hit it 460 feet.
And that's the misconception about him from not getting a chance to see him play every day.
Every day, right.
In the past, we thought he was just a dead pull hitter.
And he tried to hit everything out of the yard.
You get him out with throwing sliders away because he'll chase. But that's not the case. We've seen him stay on a lot of pitches and go to the right center field.
For the first 6 weeks into this season, he has been terrific.
Lonnie goes the other way. Chisenhall trying to dump one down the line, just foul.
Listen to the sound off his bat compared to other people. It's remarkable. It's like he's swinging a telephone pole. That's a thud, man. That's not a crack.
Well, here again, the Indians. Just the lumber company in the 5th inning. 21-1. They've outscored the opposition in the last 11 games in this 5th inning.
Oh, it's a 5th again. Here comes Tommy. I should have known better. He's like the milkman. Every 5th inning, he's walking down into the front row. Well, another multiple run inning as well.
Yeah.
So on the homestand, they've had 18 multiple run innings compared to the opposition's 3. It's been a terrific homestand. I don't know what else to say.
13-1. They've outscored them in the 1st inning. 21-1 in the 5th inning in their last 11 games. So. It would be one thing if, the 1st inning, at least you know who's coming up to bat. So you can look at that 1st inning stat and maybe tell more from that. The 5th inning, you never know who's going to be up by the 5th inning. It could be the bottom part of the order, the top, could be the middle. Chisenhall, big bouncer. Fryman's got to make a perfect feed. He can't do it. And Chisenhall reaches with 1 out here in the 5th. That's a tough play, and Fryman's not been playing every day. It's his first action in the series. He's got to make a perfect throw to that pitcher moving on the dead run, and he didn't miss by much.
No, but if you're a major league first baseman, you got to make this play. The throw is off line, and you don't want to get your pitcher killed. That's another error. Oakland has played shabby defense in this series. They haven't played very well.
Might have put a little too much air under it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's not that easy out there.
No.
People think first base is easy. You grab the ball, you just flip it over there. That's not that easy. But the young player getting the start today, Fryman, he makes an error. That's their 2nd one today.
Now Yan Gomes. He drives one to right field. Back goes Moss. And he'll make the catch for out number 2. Now the number 9 hitter, Drew Stubbs. An RBI single in the 2nd, struck out his last time up. Now Stubbs sends one high in the air to left. Over near the line, Taylor, another long run. Makes the catch. Stays on his feet to end the inning. But the Indians, long ball. Once again, Martin Reynolds going deep. 9-zip Cleveland. Tune in after Indians Live following the game today for All Bets Are Off with Bruce Drennan. Bruce will look back at today's call, and he's all fired up to talk about last night's ball game as well. All bets are off right after Indians Live on Sports Time Ohio.
Yeah, he came in here fired up this morning, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
We're saying, like, come on, Bruce. It's a noon game. Wait a second.
Mike Aviles takes over for his Drupal Cabrera at shortstop. Ryan Rayburn for Nick Swisher in right field. Indians on top 9-0.
There you go. Guys earned some time off today. That's a nice thing to do when you can afford to do that. Get some bats in the lineup to get them some at-bats. Get some guys some rest. And Scott Kazmir again, he's throwing 93 today. He's got the velocity up there, a good slider. His last changeup, I mean, he's throwing the ball very well.
Well, that's certainly one thing that has been encouraging, is that he was throwing with this kind of velocity in spring training, and it hasn't dropped off. He's been able to maintain it. And I think that, you know, he mentioned in spring training the slider getting better for him, and that's certainly a very important pitch for him. Fastball away.
Well, he's got to be like a kid in a candy store to be back in the big leagues after not pitching, you know, and getting his first win since 2010, and had the long road back that he had to fight and battle his way, but he was persistent enough to stick with it.
That one's in the air to left, but right there to grab it. Michael Brantley, one away.
Well, as we told you on Monday, not far away, you can catch 2 games for one price. That'll be Monday. It'll be a traditional doubleheader. The New York Yankees will be in town. First pitch is at 12:05. One ticket is good for both games. We're going to honor Mariano Rivera because this will be the last time he appears in Cleveland, and he's been so gracious to every place that he goes to the last time, and holds little press conferences and things like that. He's really a pro's pro, one of the classiest men in baseball, so you want to come out here and see that.
Yoenis Cespedes has struck out twice, pops the first pitch up, back out of play. One of the things that Mariano Rivera wanted to do, he got with the PR people and said, you know, I want to go around, and on my last tour, I want to meet with the people who don't get any recognition, the ticket takers, the guy that's been selling peanuts for 20 years, and all of those unsung heroes that make the ballpark experience wonderful, that make the players' lives easier, you know, the security guards, the guys at the doors. And I thought that was kind of a neat deal, you know, because those are the people that, you know, they live and breathe baseball too, but most of those folks don't get to see a lot of the game because they're busy doing their job at the ballpark.
Behind the scenes, and he's one classy guy that that's the way he wants to do it, so it is something special.
Yoenis Cespedes down on the count 0-2. Can Scott Kazmir fit him for the hat trick?
Well, he's had 10 0-2 counts today.
Swung out and missed. He struck him out indeed for the 3rd time today. That's 9 punch-outs for Kazmir, 2 down in the inning.
You know, and we're saying this night after night after night. 10, 9, 10, 0-2, 1-2 counts, whatever. You know, these guys are coming in, they're throwing strikes, they're pitching ahead in the count.
Well, last night we mentioned it at one point, 40%. You know, so that's almost half the lineup. You've got them down in the count, 0-2, 1-2. That gives you a perfect opportunity to make them hit your pitch.
That's the way to pitch in the big leagues. I mean, if somebody gets you, then all right, maybe you make a mistake and they get a base hit, but they're going to have to work extra hard to get you.
Now, how many times do you hear a hitter say after a game, or a pitcher say, well, it was a 3-1 count, I had to go in, I had to throw a strike. The hitter knows that. That's usually when they get to do their damage. The 0-1 to Donaldson, missed outside. Just missing.
Well,
Casimir thought he had it.
Yeah, he knew it was close. But see, he's out there now, and that wasn't for strike 3. That was just to get the count to 1-2. So he even wanted that pitch.
That's a strike. Fastball inside corner.
Yeah, he's locked in.
Now the 2-2. Hit in the air to left, pretty well hit. In fact, Brantley's going to look up and wave goodbye to this one. Josh Donaldson with his 4th home run of the year, no doubt about it, shot to the bleachers and left. And Oakland gets on the board.
Now this guy has power. He's a good player. He's a good hitter. Scott gives up his 5th home run. So Oakland on the board. It's a 9-1 ball game. Donaldson hits his 4th. See what the pitch was. Breaking ball. Little slider down and in.
Luke Montz fouls it right back. Casimir went right back at him with a fastball. Go back to challenging the hitters.
Well, hey, that doesn't stop you. You go right back at him. You got a big lead. Tip your cap. The guy hit one out.
Fastball outside corner, 0-2. He threw it right by him. Scott Casimir, 10 strikeouts here this afternoon. He's given up just one measly 0 run. Beautiful day here at the ballpark. Fans soaking up some sunshine. Scott Casimir, 18th career game of 10 or more strikeouts. First since August of 2009. He has punched out 10 Oakland hitters. Just outstanding. And I didn't notice it. You pointed out on the radar gun the last 2 pitches, 95,
96. Now, look, not many people throw it that hard. I know he was free and easy. But if that's the case, and those could be the last 2 pitches of his day, 95, 96, that's impressive.
No question about it. Bottom of the 6th inning, top of the order, Michael Brantley to lead it off. 9-1, Indians on top. Brantley, couple of hits, a run scored. Evan Scribner roughed up for 3 runs last inning. That's popped up. Should be playable here. Tough sun field for Donaldson, but he squeezes it for out number 1. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Jason Kipnis got it rolling in the first inning. High and over the wall in left field for a home run. Then Nick Swisher with a solo blast in the third. Mega mark. Reynolds going deep. 2-run blast in the 5th. 3 more homers for the top home run hitting team in baseball. And Kipnis looks at a curveball for strike 1. You know, the interesting thing, too, about that, Rick, that the Indians have more home runs now than Atlanta, and Atlanta's played 2 more games than the Indians.
Yeah, well, and take into consideration how the pitcher hits in that ballpark are, for that team also. They don't have the DH. But, that Atlanta team's like an American League team. There's a couple teams in the National League. Cincinnati's one of them. Those guys, they have some offense over there in the National League. Well, they have some good teams. St. Louis is a ball club that can score and hit. And Colorado as well.
We'll go down and see Atlanta later in the summer. But, yeah, you're right. The Upton brothers, they've got that big.
How about Gaddis?
Evan Gaddis. Man, is he fun to watch.
Well, the first baseman,
Freddie Freeman.
And wait till they get their catcher back there. Oh,
Jason Hayward.
I mean, Hayward's going to come back.
Two balls, 2 strikes, and that Cincinnati lineup's pretty stout as well.
We also get Washington coming in here too, don't we?
Yeah.
That's a good ball club.
Kipnis slugs one to right center. Racing into the gap, Moss runs it down 2 away. All right, let's get the answer to the AT&T trivia question. My guess was the guy on the hill earlier today for Oakland, Bartolo Colon. The year he was traded.
Yeah. I'll never forget when he was traded. We were going from Montreal to Boston, or actually we were in Boston.
Going to Montreal, yeah, right? Or were we going home?
We were coming home.
That was the last leg of that trip?
We were Miami, Montreal. I think we were Colorado in that trip, too.
Yeah.
We were in Boston ready to come home, and our plane wasn't there.
Because it was raining. Remember, I think we got rained out.
Yeah.
Everybody was sitting in the clubhouse. It's all over the television. The Indians have traded Bartolo Colon, which essentially signaled the end of that year. And all the players that were on that team were starting to look around going, well, who's next? This is the first shoe to fall. And
that was, 11 years ago, huh?
Boy. Ripped to third. Backhanded by Donaldson. Guns it over. And the inning is over. Indians go 1-2-3 for the second time today, but they lead it 9-1. Just about as gorgeous an afternoon as you could ask for in here in the month of May. As you look in at the ballpark from our Panini Cam, brought to you by Panini's Bar and Grill. 9-1 in favor of the Indians. And it's time now for today's Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen as Matt Albers comes on. 9th appearance of the year.
Coming on the relief of Scott Kazmir, who pitched a really nice 6 innings today. 5 hits, gave up the 1 run. That was a solo home run with 2 outs back in the 6th inning. But 10 punch outs and didn't walk anybody. Great afternoon to close out a very good homestand. Those 10 strikeouts are the most by a Cleveland starter this year.
Yeah, it's you never want to get too carried away. I mean, that's the whole thing about baseball. You have to maintain your even keel, but it's hard not to get excited about what you're seeing from a starting rotation that had all sorts of question marks in the offseason and in the spring training and into the first couple of weeks of the season, but it's starting to take shape now.
It's rounding into shape, yeah. Absolutely. It certainly is. And, we're, 32 games into the season?
Yeah. But what was the old barometer? 40 games
gives you an idea. You can get a pretty good judge on what's going to take place the rest of the year. Well, I like what I'm seeing right now. And like I said, don't forget this homestand. This has been one to build on because people are just starting to get comfortable with their roles. With all the new faces in that dugout right there, it was going to take a little while for them to get to know each other under the fire, the everyday battle of Major League Baseball. And they're starting to feel very comfortable with themselves.
Swing and a miss, another strikeout. Derek Norris goes down hacking. Let's go back and look at Scott Kazmir's afternoon.
Well, we showed you his assortment. It's sliders, fastballs. They'll change the eye level, go downstairs, go upstairs. A couple of change-ups mixed in there. But for the most part, he had very good fastball today. And we told you the last 2 pitches before he finished was 95 and 96. Which is, I thought, would be crazy. At 93, that's where I thought he was topping out at, but not today.
Nate Fryman 0 for 2 has struck out, flied out. Albers, fastball right in there for a strike, 0-2. Down low with a heater. Now Albers from the set with the 1-2. Did he go? Yes, he did. Home plate umpire Paul Nauert said he went too far. A dozen punch-outs for Indians pitching here today.
Well, take a look at it. See what you think at home.
Yep. Looked like that bat head got out a little bit in front of the plate, and it looked like he definitely went too far.
Well, a lot of times it's the intent on swinging at the baseball, and he certainly did it. The wrist broke, went out in front.
Now Brandon Moss cuts and misses. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Missed inside. Now the 1-1 and a breaking ball right down into the dirt. Moss chased it, and now he's in the hole. Albers deals, and a fastball roped foul. Now, talking about how good the starting pitching in particular has been here of late. Brett Myers, who had a strained tendon in his right elbow, is scheduled to throw his first bullpen on Saturday. So he continues to work his way back, and you have to feel like him getting healthy and coming back, he's going to be a better pitcher than what we saw.
Well, if he had the elbow issues, you certainly hope so, because everything was upstairs with him when he was pitching.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was giving up the long ball. But I will give this guy credit. He never complained, never said anything. He went out and took the ball until you say, hey, something's got to give.
No, he was trying to pitch through it. You're right.
Yeah, and, you know, sometimes that happens when you come to a new team. You get paid pretty good money.
Well, you want to go out there, and the last thing you want to do is
you want to earn your job.
Right.
You know, well, you can't do it if you're not healthy. And hopefully when he comes back, he'll be ready to go, and he'll have different results out there pitching.
Well, and like him, the same situation with Nick Swisher. You know, it makes you feel a whole lot better when you go down and the other guys step in and do well. That's in the air, out of play. Brandon Moss draws a walk. That's the first walk issued by Indians pitchers here today.
Well, the first 10,000 fans will get a Block C rally cap. That'll be courtesy of Strickland's Frozen Custard when the Indians take on the Seattle Mariners next Saturday, May 18th. You can get your tickets early and save. Log on to Indians.com.
Fastball down and in to Michael Taylor. He's 1 for 2 with a base hit his last time up. Can probably expect to see Michael Bourne back with the club very soon, maybe as early as tomorrow. One pitch, down and in. We'll wait to hear an official word, but one could speculate that it would be highly likely to see him back in the lineup tomorrow in Detroit. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss to even the count. 2-2. A little bit low. With 2 down here in the 7th inning, the payoff pitch is swung on and grounded fair behind the bag at third. Chisholm, long throw, got him. We've reached the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. Life is hard. Buying a car shouldn't be. (9-1) Tribe on top as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. All kind of changes defensively now for Oakland, with the Tribe on top 9-1. Ryan Rayburn getting his first at bat today. Nick Swisher went 1 for 3 with a home run. New outfield configuration for the A's, and they've got a new shortstop in there as well. We'll get you the changes in a moment. Breaking ball swung on and missed. 1 away. All right, we've got Eric Sogard in the ball game at short. Rosales goes to left. Brandon Moss moves from right to center, and Michael Taylor goes over from left to right.
Okay.
Jason Giambi 1 out of 3 today, an RBI single back in the 5th. Rip foul, first base side.
The ball boy flips it over to somebody they drop it. He started getting on the kids for dropping it, so he hands it to the girl. Nice job.
Evan Scribner delivers, and Giambi takes the curveball in the dirt. Big weekend series gets underway tomorrow night in Detroit. Indians, Tigers, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. We'll have all three on Sports Time Ohio. Tomorrow night it will be Corey Kluber against Max Scherzer. Saturday night, Ubaldo Jimenez against Justin Verlander. And then Sunday afternoon, Zach McAllister against Rick Porcello. Should be a fun weekend. Big 3-game series. It's early, and does it mean anything? No. But it's going to be fun nonetheless.
You know what, it does, because you're in the division. Just to get out there, they played the Tigers really well last year, and don't think the Tigers forgot that. They know they're going to be coming in here, and we're going to want to make a statement. They should have nice crowds this weekend. Detroit's the leading hitting team in the league. They're up at 283 as a team batting average. There could be some runs scored.
Well, in the past, that season series has gone in streaks, in runs. We might win 4 or 5 in a row, and then they might win 6 straight.
We went one year where we won everything here. They won everything there.
Yeah. Giambi grounds out 2 away. Let's revisit our keys to the game. Aggressive versus Cologne. Well, they were aggressive, all right. They swung at a lot of his pitches because he was throwing a lot of strikes, and they hammered him. And the defense wasn't really much of an issue. They've played sound, but when you got a pitcher striking out 10, you don't have to worry about defense.
No, not the Indians' defense, but the A's didn't play very good defense in this series. They had 2 more errors today.
Yeah. Mark Reynolds fouls one straight back. 7 out of Oakland's 36 games now. They've committed multiple errors.
That's not good. And this is a team that pitches well, so you don't want to make errors. Well, they have in the past. They're not pitching like they did last year quite yet. And Oakland has always seemed to be a second-half team, where after the All-Star break, they usually kick it in gear. But, it's awful tough to win a 4-game series. The last Cleveland sweep against Oakland came back on April 26th through the 29th, 1999 at the Coliseum. The last one here, you got to go back to 95, July 14th through the 16th.
Yeah, first of all, you don't always play 4-game series.
It's tough to.
But the sweep one,
to win one is tough, let alone sweep it.
Yeah, you end up with a lot of splits in those 4-gamers. You're right.
But if you sweep it, boy, everything goes your way. And it's tough to beat the same team 4 straight times.
Double foul that time. You see that? He fouled it once, and then on the back swing, he fouled it again. Well, they've earned this sweep because they've had to pitch well. They've had to have some clutch hitting. They've broken out the big bats here today.
Well, you had a 1-0 game, a 4-3 game.
Yeah, what was the final in the series opener?
7-3.
That was the 7-3. That was a close game, and then they opened it up late.
The last time they swept the A's here was the game that we showed you earlier in this series.
The Wild game?
Yeah, when Ramirez took Eckersley deep into extra innings.
That was the 4-game sweep.
Yes, that
95.
was the sweep, correct. The last time they got Oakland in 4.
That's going back.
Yeah. Good times.
Great times. Low ball 4. Reynolds has been aboard 3 times here today. This was it.
Game 4. I think it was the 12th inning. He hits it deep up into the bleachers. Watch the reaction. Sandy's right there at home plate.
Mark Clark, Alan Embry, Paul Serrano, Herbert Perry.
Yeah,
wow.
I see the names. When I see highlights like that go back, I look at all the names around to see who was there.
Chisenhall, a swing and a miss. I still remember those days thinking it was like being on the road all the time when you came here, because it didn't seem like this can't be our park. This can't be the home ballpark, right? This has got to be. And for you, I mean, all the years you played at Cleveland Stadium.
Yeah, it was a great place to come to. Here.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't like going to the other place, but
still the big leagues no matter what. But
yeah.
this was, especially in that day. Oh, here's Lonnie Chisenhall. He's sending one pretty deep to left, but Rosales will make the catch on the warning track to end the inning. 7 in the books. All Tribe today, 9-1.
The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Indians on top. Homestand coming to a close this afternoon here at Progressive Field. They're dancing in the aisles, and they'll be enjoying this one. Tribe 6 outs away from going 8-1. Is that right? 8-1 on this homestand. Now, the last time they had a homestand this good, you've got to go back to 2005 when they had a 10-game homestand because there was a makeup game mixed into that.
They were what, 9-1?
9-1 on that one.
We'll end up beating the Tigers back to Detroit because they have a 4:05 game in D.C.
Yeah, and that's a makeup game because they got rained out in the first game of the series. They had a rain delay last night, and then they finally played, and the Tigers lost. Three balls, no strikes. And Albers fires one in there. Adam Rosales 2 for 3, 2 singles here this afternoon. And that's ball 4, glancing off the glove of Gomes. So Rosales aboard on the free pass to start the 8th inning. Hey, stay tuned after the game for Indians Live, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Al and Jason will have the highlights from back in the studio. Rick and I will have some final thoughts and look forward to the upcoming series in Detroit. Katie will have reaction from the clubhouse. It's all coming up right after the ball game. Activity now in Oakland's bullpen. Right now, Jed Lowry to the plate with one on. And he gets it right back up the middle. Off the glove of Kipnis. And Rosales will go to third. Jason just got a little bit of leather on it, but not enough to bring it in.
Yeah, ball hit hard up the middle, but he was playing him over. You can see he's at double play depth. That ball just gets past Albers, and it does deflect off his glove. So they have a first and third now with nobody out here in the eighth.
Hard hit ground ball, and it's by a diving Mark Reynolds. Going to third is Lowry, and Yoenis Cespedes has an RBI single after he struck out his first 3 times up. I beg your pardon, that was Eric Sogard, who came on for Cespedes. Activity now in the Indians bullpen as Mickey Callaway will go to the mound to talk with Albers. First and third for Oakland. Still nobody out in the eighth. The Columbus Crew is back this Saturday to take on the Colorado Rapids. Dwight Burgess and Duncan Oughton bring you all the action of Crew soccer this Saturday at 7:30 on Fox Sports Ohio. Josh Donaldson coming up. He is 2 for 3. Homered his last time up. And the pitch is low, ball 1. Biggest crowd of the series on this Thursday noon start game, 12,477.
So what's wrong with noon games? Sort of fun, isn't it?
I think the crowds enjoy them.
Yeah, especially on a nice sunny day like today.
Always helps, doesn't it? Well, this is going to be a challenging little stretch of games for the Indians coming up here because obviously it's a big 3-game series in Detroit, even though it's the first meeting of the year between the two clubs. Then you come home on Monday for the doubleheader. That's always a taxing day. And then right out to Philadelphia that night. Play the Phillies Tuesday and Wednesday at Citizens Bank Ballpark. And then after that, you should kind of settle into more of a normal rhythm and routine. But this will be a good stretch here for the Indians. Another test.
I don't know if there's anything normal about a major league season.
Well, anytime you've got a doubleheader sandwiched in between 2 tough series, that definitely throws things out of whack.
Well, at least they'll be caught up. They'll have one more to go to make up. That's with the White Sox.
Yeah.
And we have to come back, and I believe we make that in June.
Yes.
On the road before we go to Kansas City. So at least they'll only have one more to go. You know, when you get into a stretch like that, that can reap a little havoc with that starting rotation if your pitchers aren't on their A game.
You know, Matt Albers is having a tough time here, so bases are loaded. He has not retired a batter in the inning. And Luke Mont's coming up. And Terry Francona says, you know what? Let's go make a move here. So Oakland has the bases loaded, nobody out on a run in. Matt Albers goes an inning plus. And we've got a timeout as it looks like Cody Allen will be coming on when we come back. It's a 9-2 Indians lead, but Oakland has scored a run. They have them loaded, nobody out. Cody Allen coming on as Oakland will go to their bench for John Jaso. But baseball's one of those games you have to get 27 out. So it's a comfortable lead at 9-1 when the inning begins. But now all of a sudden, a couple of hits and a blast and all. This is a ball game again, real quick. So Cody Allen will try to put the fire out here in the 8th.
Well, Oakland this year, seeing that Jaso is pinch hitting, they have had a tough time with their pinch hitters. Just 2 for 32 on the season.
Jaso swing and a miss.
But when you're Bob Melvin and you have guys from the left side and the right side, and that's how you're going to run your team, you have to use them, whether they get off to a hot start or not. Eventually, they're going to take off. You hope. Pinch hitting, not an easy thing to do.
Out of play, 0-2 the count.
You know, and it's something that they certainly don't do in the American League as much as they do in the National League with the pitcher hitting. You look at them, this is their 33rd pinch hit appearance. The Indians have pinch hit 3 times on the year, so that goes to show you. 3 times.
I wonder why the wide disparity.
Well, we carry 8 pitchers out of the bullpen. We don't have a lot of extra guys, so you're not pinch hitting. Look at this.
They almost had him caught where the runner at second base, Sogard, ran up Donaldson's Lowry's back at third. That ball ricocheted.
It was perfectly. I mean, it bounces right back to Gomes at home plate. Watch, he turns around. Here it comes. There it is. Get out of the way, ump. He may be coming my way. Look at that breaking ball. He went to catch it with his hand turned the wrong way, and it got between his legs. That was good break on the curveball.
Gomes still, he's still working at it. But he has shown great improvement, great aptitude. So base is loaded, nobody out, 1-2 count. He did not chase, and the count 2-2.
You know, Jaso's one of those guys. You get ahead of him, it's okay. But he's tough to put away. He worked a couple of walks in the game, in this series, where he's been down in the count to 2 strikes and ended up getting on first base. Did it in the 9th inning last night.
Two. Fastball. Got him. One away here in the 8th.
That was a good pitch by Allen. Runs that fastball away. Outside edge. Nice pitch. Couldn't check his swing. It had very good movement going away. So now a ground ball double play. You can get out of the inning.
Derek Norris 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts. Fastball hit on the ground, foul, third base side. With the Indians leading it 9-2, a win would put them at 18-14, move them in a tie for the moment with Kansas City, game and a half back in Detroit. Royals, by the way, have lost 3 in a row heading into their game tonight at Baltimore. No balls, 2 strikes to count on Norris. Cody Allen lets the 2-strike pitch go, and a ball outside as Norris was able to check. For the Oakland A's, as bad as things have gone for them here in Cleveland, they're still just 3.5 back at Texas in the AL West in second place. Tell you, the team right now that's got to be wondering about this year is the Angels. Outside
Boy,
again.
You're not kidding.
They're 11 games under 500 already. They've lost 4 straight.
Yeah, Houston beat them for the 2nd straight time last night.
Bases loaded, 1 out, a 2-2 count on Norris. Swung on and missed. He went upstairs and strikes him out 2 away.
Wow. Cody Allen doing a nice job so far to this point, coming in and striking out 2 straight hitters. Elevated the fastball on that pitch to get Norris to go down for the 3rd time today.
Take a look at those AL Western Division standings. If not for the addition of Houston to the West, then the Angels would be the last place team.
How about those Rangers? They keep plugging away, don't they?
Yeah.
They lose players, and they're right up on top. They're doing it with pitching. Yeah, the Angels are a strange group right now.
Derek Barton, by the way, pinch hitting for Nate Fryman. Fryman went 0 for 3. Well, the Angels, they've got a ton, and I mean a ton of money invested in Albert Pujols and of course, Josh Hamilton. But their pitching seems to be really lacking. The 0-1. Hit on the ground is short.
What a job.
Aviles, the flip to Kipnis, and the inning is over. Boy, Cody Allen, you talk about the fireman. He came in and put the Flames out. 2 in favor of the Indians. Bottom of the 8th inning. A's go back to their bullpen. Third pitcher of the game is Pat Neshek, right-handed side armor. Gomes, a drive to center field, right into the tracks of Moss, one away. All right, let's take a look at today's box score, brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers. Jason Kipnis got it started early. Michael Brantley, a couple of knocks. Look at that. Cabrera, Swisher, Giambi, everybody in the act here today. Mark Reynolds, a big game with the 2-run homer and a double. Well, it's good to see when you've got contributions from everybody up and down the lineup. Drew Stubbs, he had an RBI hit early through the drawn-in infield, banged one into left field.
Yeah, 3 times today, multiple run innings. First they scored 2, 3 in the second, 3 in the 5th. Crooked numbers look good on the scoreboard when they're in your column.
Chop
may
to third.
Beat this.
Bare hand grab and throw. Nope, you're not going to get that guy.
I didn't think so.
Drew Stubbs, an infield base hit.
And, you know, Donaldson did everything in his power. He made the play as good as you can make it. And what happened? Watch. Once he gets a running start out of that batter's box, everything has to be perfect to get him because he can fly. Put your head down. Look at those long strides. He's a big guy. He's 6'4".
Absolutely.
He's not one of those short guys with short, choppy steps. He's got some stride, some length to him.
Michael Brantley, 2 base hits today, a run scored. You know, last night, after all the dust settled, it was a 1-run win for the Indians, and that's something that they've really excelled at already. 7-3 in 1-run games. In all of Major League Baseball, that's the 5th best mark in 1-run games. And not everybody plays, obviously, the same amount, but just looking at the numbers right now, Texas is 7-2. Giants are 10-5.
Giants always play a bunch of run-1 games because of their pitching.
Yankees are 6-1. The Reds are 9-5, and then the Indians at 7-3. So that's something that you know, at the end of the year, those 1-run games, boy, those are the ones that gnaw at you because the ones you think you could have had, like that's a game last night for Oakland. I mean, they'll look back on that one and take away what happened at the end of the game. But you're up 3-0, and you cough that up and you lose by a run. That's one that kind of you think back. That's one we got to win if you're them. You know.
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody has games like that throughout the course of your games. You think you should win, and they give up a couple, and they come back and win some they should lose. But if you look at last year, that's one thing that turned the Baltimore Orioles around were 1-run games and extra inning games. I mean, those guys, they went in and they earned it. And when they got into extra innings or close ball games, they just seemed to win everything.
Michael Brantley lifts one to left. Baltimore, by the way, began the day tied for the top spot in the AL East. They've won 4 straight. They're playing good, but they're 6-5 in the 1-run game category so far this year.
So far, right. But, I mean, they can't be as good as they were last year. They were perfect last year almost.
It almost seems like there's no way, right? You can't do that. Not that good 2 years in a row in 1-run games.
Well, Toronto's been a surprising team. You know, they've fallen on hard times early. Tampa, everybody thought they would put it together, but their bullpen is struggling. And, you know, we thought for years that with the pieces that they put together that their bullpen will struggle, and they've always pitched well, where they're struggling a little bit right now.
But here's the thing. Here's the rub with the one-run game category. I mean, it's something we keep track of. It's in the stat notes. It's all that. What is it? What is it that makes a team excel in one-run games? Is it managing? Is it, you know, having that great bullpen? You know, why is it that some teams will excel and other teams?
I don't know. You can look at a bunch of different ways how they get to one-run wins. I mean,
close play. Oh. Kipnis punched out to end the inning. We'll continue our discussion as we go to the ninth. A 9-2 lead, ninth inning. And Scott Barnes will come on now for the Tribe. He'll be facing the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Brandon Moss, Michael Taylor, Adam Rosales scheduled to hit for Oakland. Just to kind of finish up what we were talking about, I think, you know, in that one-run game category, I think sometimes, you know, there are some of those games that may be a little misleading. Okay, you win a game one run. Maybe you were winning it 7-3,
right,
and they hit a 3-run homer in the ninth, but it wasn't really that close all the way.
True. It turns out being a one-run game. I was thinking about the one we had here the other night, 1-0.
Now that is a different ball game.
Yeah, that's the one you want.
That's tight the whole way through. One pitch could have been the difference, you know, all night long. I just think there are some games where, in a one-run game, a managing move, a critical strategic decision is the difference maker. You know, a matchup. You go to your nasty lefty when they bring their big, you know, bopper up to plate. You know, if he's from the left side, that could be the difference.
And a lot of times,
a
one-run game is not always at the end of the game. It could be in the middle part of that game too, when it turns the game around.
Well, you look back to last night; it's 3-0. But those two gift runs, you know, the 2 walks, the error, that made it a one-run game and enabled the Indians to then hit the 2 home runs and win it.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes in the middle part of the game, it's
yeah. But I also don't buy the notion that, well, one-run games is just luck. I don't buy that notion either.
No, you got to have the right players at the right place. And you know what? I think the players feel comfortable playing in tight games, you know.
Got to have the right guys.
You got to have the right guys. And, you know, your team believes that if you get us close, you know what, we have a chance to win this game. And when you're playing well, they start believing they can win it. They go out and come back sometimes, or they hold them off. It's the players.
You don't want a guy out there pitching late in innings. And I'm not saying it's the closer. It could be anybody from the 7th inning on. But if you've got a guy out there with the game on the line late and his knees are knocking, well, that's not the guy you want.
He won't be there long.
No. Two count to Taylor. And he drives one to left. Coming on hard. Brantley's there. 2 away. Stay tuned. Right after the ball game, we've got Indians Live coming up next. All the highlights, some analysis. We've got reaction from the clubhouse. Straight ahead, brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. And it's off to Detroit for the weekend. Looking forward to a great Indians-Tigers rivalry series. And we'll have all 3 games for you right here on Sports Time Ohio. Adam Rosales, he's one of those guys, it doesn't matter what the scoreboard says, he's going to be a tough out. He has 2 hits, he has walked, he has scored a run. Pitch outside, 2-0. Down low, 3 balls, no strikes. Taking all the way, it's ball 4. So Rosales, I had a feeling he's not going to give in. So the game stays alive as Jed Lowry will come to the plate. 1 for 4 on the afternoon. Now the pitch. Rosales takes off. It's a called strike. This homestand began with a 14-2 thrashing of Roy Halladay and the Philadelphia Phillies. Since then, Halladay has announced that he will undergo shoulder surgery. The next day, the Indians roughed up Cliff Lee, beat the Phillies 6-0. And against Minnesota, a 7-6 win in extra innings, a 7-3 win before Minnesota edged the Tribe in the series finale 4-2. Then 7-3 against Oakland, the 1-0 win over the A's, and then last night's 4-3 victory. Right back to him. He's got it, and the game is over. Scott Barnes snow-coned it into his glove, held on. And this one goes to the Indians as they sweep the 4-game series from Oakland by a final score of 9-2.
Well, look what's coming at you. He caught it. Game over. Looked like it was headed into center field for a base knock. He's frustrated, but that will be the ball game.
Scott Kazmir gets the win. He goes to 2-1 on the year. The loser is Bartolo Colon. He drops to 3-2. With the victory, the Indians are now 18-14 on the year, a season high, 4 games over 500. They've won 4 straight. They've won 10 out of 11, 13 out of 17, and they are rolling now, headed to Detroit for a big 3-game weekend series against the Tigers. Oakland, on the other hand, drops their 4th straight. They're back to 500 now at 18-18. Time now for our key play of the game, brought to you by KeyBank.
Well, Scott Kazmir, what an outstanding afternoon he had. He had 10 strikeouts in his 6 innings of work. He had a very good fastball, moved the breaking ball around, some change of paces with the changeup. And he seems to get better. We talked about him at better and better every time out. So Scott Casimir is going to be our KeyBank play of the game. And visit your local KeyBank branch for low rates on home equity or auto loan. Certain conditions do apply, so see your branch for details.
What a homestand for the Indians. 8-1. And they finish it with a 4-game sweep of the Oakland Athletics. Arch and I are back with some final thoughts right after this.